Luke, chapter 23. The Roman trial before Pilate. The Jewish leadership escorted Jesus to the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate, seeking the legal authority to carry out an execution. Upon discovering that Jesus was from Galilee, Pilate attempted to deflect the responsibility by transferring him to Herod Antipas, the tetrarch of that region. The inquiry before Herod. Herod was initially eager to see Jesus, hoping for a display of miraculous power. However, Jesus refused to perform for him or even answer his interrogations. Frustrated and mocking him, Herod eventually returned Jesus to Pilate. The final sentence. Pilate addressed the crowd, stating that neither he nor Herod had found Jesus guilty of any capital crime. He intended to discipline and release him, but the mob, incited by the leaders, demanded the release of a murderer named Barabbas and shouted for Jesus' crucifixion. Succumbing to the political pressure and the roar of the crowd, Pilate authorized the death sentence. Jesus was led to the place of the skull, Golgotha, where he was crucified between two criminals. Even in his agony, he displayed divine mercy, praying for the forgiveness of his executioners. While hanging on the cross under a sign reading "The King of the Jews," Jesus was ridiculed by soldiers and religious rulers. One criminal joined in the mockery, but the other recognized Jesus' innocence and asked for remembrance. Jesus promised him a place in paradise. As Jesus died, the land was plunged into darkness for 3 hours, and the heavy curtain within the temple was torn in half. At approximately 3 p.m., Jesus cried out, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit," and voluntarily gave up his life. The burial of Jesus. A member of the council named Joseph of Arimathea courageously requested the body of Jesus. He wrapped him in linen and laid him in a new rock-hewn tomb. The burial was hurried to ensure completion before the Sabbath began at sunset. Every person has fallen short of God's standard, and the wages for that sin is death. Jesus, being sinless, took that penalty upon himself. He died the death we deserve so that we could receive the life he earned. While the physical act of the crucifixion was a display of human cruelty and brutality, the spiritual reality was a display of God's perfect sacrificial love. The build created for day 23 was a shepherd and his dog. Tomorrow we'll be sharing from Luke chapter 24. Share, like, and subscribe. God bless.